continue collecting, and remember, stay casual. Welcome back, casual collectors, for another Accessory Wednesday. Spider Kid here,
and Steel Wolf.
and today we're going to be reviewing the Dungeons & Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves Gelatinous Cube Accessory Pack.
So just in case you were thinking about purchasing this accessory pack, we know it's a little bit old, but hey, you know what? This will be the perfect time to grab it. So we picked up the Gelatinous Cube at Walmart, and we got lucky enough to find it on clearance, as you can see there, for $13. Now, normally when this guy was released, he sold for about, I want to say, $36, but you can currently find him at Target.com and Amazon for under $22, but he is sold out on GameStop, Walmart.com, and Best Buy. It's under $22 on Walmart.com, but like I said, we picked it up in the store for $13 in the clearance aisle.
Alright, so for box details, if we look at the front, we can see nice little gold accents around it. The gold archive. You can see the logo right there, Dungeons & Dragons, the name, and what it looks like out of the box, and the list of accessories it comes with. Now we go to the side, we can actually see a little information about what it is. A transparent gelatinous creature that assaults any prey. Now we go to the back, we can actually see the size of the cube, an example of a figure in it, and again the list of the accessories and how they would go on the cube. And on the side we can see a nice picture of the art that was on the front. Now we go to the top, we can see the Dungeons & Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves logo. And now for the bottom, we have a bunch of legal stuff. And an honorable mention too is a little side thing that shows the dragon logo. Alright, and that's gonna do it for box details. Alright, with all that said, let's hope that we roll a critical and break them out of the package. Alright, and here is the cube out of the box. Now we still need to build it, but before we do that though, let's take a closer look at these accessories. Alright, and here are the accessories out of the box. So if we look at the shield right here, we can see it looks like it's been worn down. It's pretty cool. So it has a nice gloss. And this would be nice for figures if it actually worked. So that's the downside to this. But the axe next looks pretty cool too, the same effect, worn down. You see the holes right there. It's pretty cool. Next is, I think, another type of axe or a different type of weapon. Same thing for the back and the front. This one looks a lot more shinier, so probably would just develop now. That's like writing right there. Next we got this book right here. Nice colors, nice gold too. I just don't like these type of holes right here, but that's fine though. So the inside of that, it's pretty cool. Now next is, I believe, a potion bottle. Pretty cool green. See a little dragon on the front there, gold, and a hole to put it in. I just don't like how this is extra plastic right here, so you can't have somebody hold it. And then next, I have no idea what this is. I think it's like a helmet or something. It looks pretty cool. Nice close up of that right there. So you plug it in. Oh, look, scroll right here. Pretty cool. You see some like weathering right there, and then go with that nice gold, so you can plug it in. And you have a bag. It's pretty cool. It just sucks that you can't really hold it because it's flat. Nice little paint job right there. And next we have the stand for the actual cube itself. Now you could actually put a figure in here also to make it look like it's floating. Now I got this big old bow right here. This is actually pretty cool. Only thing though, it doesn't have a string, but you can pretty much add one if you wanted to. Also, either way though, it's still pretty cool. And we got this bone right here. I'm not sure what this is supposed to go to. Oh no, this is actually the hip bone right here.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I couldn't tell what the hell that was. For a second, I thought it was like a wind effect or something, or like a smoke or something, but now that you said hip, yeah, it does look like a hip bone.
Pretty cool detail. And next we got this awesome skull right here too. Same thing with the things though, that it's flat.
Yeah, I like that skull. I just don't like that it's like a 2D kind of thing. I really wish it was an entire skull, but
It looks like it has a beard though.
I mean, it still looks pretty cool because you could put it like in the sand or in the dirt, and it'll look like it's kind of half buried.
Yeah. And then next we got this leg, which now I see it, which kind of makes sense like this.
There you go.
It's pretty cool right there. So like half of the shoes already taken off. Is what you plug it into. And then finally, we have this bag. Incredible like detail on this too. Let's see, put it in. And yeah, that's all for the accessories. Alright, with all that said though, let's move the accessory out of the way and start building the cube. Alright, and here are all the pieces for the cube. And before we start building this though, let's take a closer look at the instructions of how to actually build it. So right there, you can see it right there. It's not too complicated. You see how to put the figure in. And then if you want to also, you could put them on the base itself. Alright, and here is the cube fully built. Now, just from like this, it looks pretty good. It does have a slime-like texture and a good gloss with it too. You see right there. Now, the one complaint I did have about this though was building it. It was really difficult trying to like put everything together, and especially trying to slide those like side parts in. Well, other than that though, it looks pretty good. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to put some accessories on the cube itself. Now, for a quick example, I'll just show you two on the top. Now, you see right here, it would show the bow and the hip area. What you want to do, you see right here, it's like a little peg right there. If you look closer, you'll see another like peg right there. And it's just simple like that. You just push it in right there. And there you have it. Now, same thing goes for this. See right there. This one's a little difficult to get on in, but there we go. And just like that. Same thing goes around for all the other ones too. They all have their own little pegs you can just put them onto.
That looks really cool, honestly. It actually looks like they're being encased by like the gelatinous material, so it gives it that look as if they're actually sinking in. So that's pretty freaking cool.
Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to put the base, or how to put the little clamp into the base itself, and actually put the figure in. So all you need to do, remove the top, and it's the hole right there. You would basically just put this in here. Just gotta just force it in there. Once you do that, pretty much good to go. Now if you want to put a figure in here, say like my own little figure, you would just put them on the little thing like that, and close it up, and boom. Honestly, that looks pretty cool just like that.
Pretty awesome.
Alright, and now to measure this guy up, he stands at about 7.5 inches. And if you measure him across, he's about 7 inches. Alright, now for size comparisons, we have a Marvel Legends Spider-Man from the animated series. And now let's see what he looks like in the actual cube itself. Alright, and this is what he looks like inside of the cube. Next, we have the Amazing Yamaguchi Deadpool. And here he is inside of the cube. And here we have the Black Series mud-covered Mandalorian. And here he is inside of the cube. And here we have the DC McFarlane Multiverse Batman. And here is what he looks like inside of the cube itself. Next, we have the G.I. Joe Classified Crocmaster. And here's what he looks like inside of the cube. And then finally, we have the Mezco Logan. And here is what he looks like in the actual cube. Alright, now for some comparisons, for a 7-inch line, we're going to use the DC Multiverse Batman. And for 6 and below, we have the Marvel Legends Spider-Man. And so for 7-inch, we have Batman holding the bow, which actually that looks good for 7 inches. And for the bag, we have Spider-Man, and that looks pretty good too.
And to think about the bow is actually made out of a softer plastic, so you can kind of bend it a bit, and we were able to have Batman grip it pretty well, as you can see.
And next we have the both axes and the shield. And immediately you can tell that the axe on Batman looks incredibly small.
Yeah, those axes definitely don't scale very well. I mean, I guess you can kind of make it seem like they're little hatchets, you know, but it definitely looks weird. But I think it would look better on a Marvel Legend figure.
And if you were wondering how we got the shield on his hand, basically I just shoved this whole fist in there and that pretty much did it. Alright, next we have Batman holding the money bag and the wine bag. And for Spider-Man, he's holding the skull. And next we have Batman holding the 2 skeleton parts and Spider-Man holding the scroll. And finally we have Batman holding the book and Spider-Man holding what we believe is a piece of armor.
Yeah, it looks like a chest plate, you know, like that's what I think it is, like at least part of a breastplate.
I think it's like the helmet.
Maybe. But I do like the way that the book looks. I think that's my favorite accessory out of all of them, is the book.
Yeah. Alright, so for final thoughts, I really like it. I mean, it looks cool. That like slime effect is cool. The only thing though was just I didn't like how putting it together. It was really difficult, and you did have to use a lot of force, which did feel like it would sometimes break. And so like some of the accessories too, like half of them are like flat, so you can't even really use them for any like figures, or they're mostly just for like background stuff. And don't get me started on that shield right there, because that's gonna be impossible even trying to use for an actual figure.
Yeah, you know, I completely agree. I gotta say, putting it together, Spider-Kid did need some help for me, and it was basically just to kind of get everything aligned and kind of forcefully push in those pegs into the holes. It's not incredibly difficult. It's just, you know, taking your time with it and giving it the right oomph, you know, to get everything into place. But it's definitely worth it, I think. For 13 bucks, man, I think this is a hell of a steal for 13 bucks. Would I have paid 36? Yeah, you know, I don't think I would have paid the 36 bucks unless I actually got to mess with it and play with it and see it up close and personal out of the box. Then maybe I would have spent the 36, but 13 bucks is a no-brainer. I mean, if you don't want it for the cube itself, the accessories are great. And Spider-Kid's right, there were some accessories that were kind of flat on the back, so it's not completely 3D. It kind of just gives you the illusion that it's 3D, but you could use those accessories as background props for when you take pictures or for dioramas. And yeah, that shield, I do agree, that shield kind of sucks the way that they did it, where it's just this big old like peg hole kind of thing, you know, like that does kind of suck. I think they should have just given us what we get for the Captain America shield, so that the figure can actually just, you know, push his arm through that little loop, but they didn't. But again, the shield looks nice where it is right now, just in the cube itself, or as a background prop. I think it'll look just fine. The other thing too is that I gotta love the details on the cube itself, because the sculpt that they used, it's very subtle, and the texture they used definitely gives that vibe that it's wet, moist, and even like a gelatinous, as the name implies, kind of a texture. And it doesn't look like it's hollow inside. It definitely looks like it's full. I mean, even with all the different toy lines that we used, they all seem to fit very nicely in there. Granted, the DC Multiverse, which is your 7-inch line, was a little bit, you know, tighter in there, but the cool thing is that if you don't want to use the actual little stand that they have inside, you can remove the stand and actually just have the figures stand in place, because there are pegs inside where you can peg your figures in. So I think that's really cool that you can either use the stand to give it a floating effect or just peg them onto the pegs. Very, very cool in my opinion.
Alright, so now it's time for rating. As you can see on the left, we have the rating scale, and I'm gonna give this a rating of
3.
Alright, and I'm gonna go ahead and give this gelatinous monstrosity a rating of
3.
Alright, and this is gonna do it for this Accessory Wednesday. I'm Spider Kid.
and Steel Wolf.
Continue collecting, and remember,
Stay casual.